Thank you for all being here today. Before we get started, I'll make a brief introduction. To my left, your right, all the way to the end is Major Tim Lethbridge. Next to him is Major Darren Hood. Next to Darren is my Undersheriff, Mike Brown. And next to him, the 10th Judicial Circuit State Attorney, Mr. Brian Haas. My name is Paul Blackman, and I'm the Sheriff of Highlands County. Thank you for being here today and showing support not only for the Highlands County Sheriff's Office, but for the citizens of Highlands County, and most of all, our hero, Deputy Sheriff William Gentry. I would like to start by doing a small recap of what brought us here today, and then we'll go from there. On May 6th, 2018, at about 7:45 p.m., the Highlands County Sheriff's Office deputies responded to a call in the Placid Lakes area of Lake Placid. This call initially was dispatched as a neighbor dispute between two neighbors where it was alleged that one neighbor had shot another neighbor's cat. Deputy Sheriff William Gentry and his trainee responded to the area and arrived in that area and made contact with the initial complainant. And through a preliminary investigation, it was determined who the parties were involved. Deputy Sheriff Gentry left his trainee at the original complainant's residence, and he walked a short distance between 2 yards over to 234 Baltimore Way Northeast, where he made contact with the other half, or the suspect, in this particular incident. During this conversation, Deputy Sheriff William Gentry made contact with the subject, and during this conversation, he was running his information through our communication center, and he was waiting for information to come back on histories, whether he had valid identification and that sort of thing. Sometime during that conversation, the suspect produced a small caliber handgun and shot Deputy Sheriff Gentry in the head. During that time, simultaneously, the trainee who was across the street at the neighbor's house heard the shots fired and immediately ran towards the residence and took up a place of cover and was calling for Deputy Gentry to respond. She never got a response, and as she was continuing to call out for him, a secondary deputy arrived on scene who was Deputy Sheriff Sutherland, and they both approached the house with weapons drawn in an attempt to make contact. While during this approach, the garage door of the residence, which was closed, started to open, and Deputy Sutherland saw an elderly male attempting to get inside a vehicle and leave the area. He took the subject into custody, and while laying the subject on the ground in the driveway, he was able to, through his peripheral vision, see Deputy Gentry laying in the lanai area, or a screened porch area in front of the residence. They secured the gentleman in the back of a patrol car and immediately administered first aid to Deputy Gentry via what they are trained to do, and called for EMS, who responded very quickly. They transported Deputy Sheriff William Gentry to the Placid Lakes Airport, where he was then in turn flown to Lee Memorial Hospital to receive medical treatment for his injuries. The suspect in this case was then taken into custody and transported here to the Highlands County Sheriff's Office for questioning. As we awaited search warrants for the residence and the property thereof, we called the State Attorney's Office. They arrived on scene and were there with us to assist us through that process throughout the rest of the night. As we've learned, Deputy Sheriff William Gentry's condition while he was at Lee Memorial, the prognosis was not good, so some of our command staff went there to be with his family. We transported William Gentry's family to the hospital over in Lee County, and we sat with them during this process when they were trying to save his life. As of yesterday, at 1:10 p.m., Deputy Sheriff William Gentry was pronounced deceased. The investigation into this incident continues, and we will continue to work on that. Since Deputy Sheriff Gentry has deceased. The suspect's charges have been enhanced, and he is now charged with first-degree murder. And as we speak, the judge is signing that warrant. So that's what's gotten us here to today. I want to take this opportunity to pass along to not only your viewers, but our citizens here in Highlands County what they can do to help us through this and what we can do to help them through the next several days. So these are going to be the services for Deputy Sheriff William Gentry. From today, or actually since yesterday, until Deputy Gentry is laid in his final resting place, the patrol car that you see behind me will be here. And citizens are encouraged to stop by and pay respect if they wish. Again, this vehicle will be here until his final resting place is determined. There is a planned candlelight vigil at 8 p.m. tomorrow evening at Fireman's Field, which is just down the road here at the football field. It will start at 8 o'clock. The citizens, anybody is welcome to come by and take part in that. We will have one of our chaplains say a few words, and anybody who wishes to say anything about Deputy Gentry is welcome to get up and do such. Monday, May 14th, there will be a private visitation for family only. Tuesday, May 15th at 11 a.m. This is important to our citizens here in Highlands County because we certainly do not want to inconvenience anybody, but there will be a law enforcement memorial service for Deputy William Gentry. We expect hundreds of law enforcement officers from around the state and across the nation to be here. That service will be held right down the street here at the Highlands New Sun Center, and I suspect it will cause traffic issues. So if you don't have a reason, if you're not coming downtown Sebring to be a part of the service, I would suggest that you stay away that day to make life easier on yourself.
You have been listening to Highlands County Sheriff Paul Blackman. He's choked up as he talks about losing a deputy in the line of duty. Deputy Gentry killed Sunday. He was shot when he was checking on what started as just a neighbor dispute, a report of a cat that had been shot. He was shot in the head and died yesterday.